Hello everyone, it's Theme Park Avenue, I am Eric, and this is a brand new video with an interesting concept I came up with, and that is naming the best roller coaster at every theme park I've been to. I've been to just over 25 parks, and some of them only have one roller coaster, so that's obvious what the best will be, and some I've not been on really great roller coasters. I'll make that clear when I talk about the coasters. So let's begin in my home state of Florida. We'll work our way west, starting with my official home park, Busch Gardens, Tampa. I am going to be giving my number 1 to Montu. Kumba is still a great ride, and I love SheiKra. Cheetah Hunt's very good, but Montu's my favorite. Intense, fantastic layout, and just easily my favorite at Busch Gardens. Once Iron Gwazi opens, that will probably take the crown, but for now, I'll be giving Montu the number 1. Moving up toward Orlando, we have SeaWorld Orlando. And I really like Manta and Kraken, but Mako is definitely my number 1. Something Icebreaker will be number 1. I don't think it'll be quite that good, but Mako is fantastic, with some great airtime and a really, really great second half. Easily one of the best B&M hypercoasters. Just my opinion, but I definitely think that Mako is the best roller coaster at SeaWorld Orlando. Next up, we'll talk Universal Studios. They don't have a lot of roller coasters, only 3 or 4. And while Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket can give some good rides, Revenge of the Mummy is definitely my number 1. Great theming, obviously, but also some pretty good thrilling elements. It's made by Premier Rides, a good launch coaster. Definitely a very good one at Universal Studios. And now, right next to it, we have Islands of Adventure. Islands of Adventure is getting Velocicoaster, and that will probably be number 1, with great theming, intensity, fantastic layout. But as it stands, Incredible Hulk definitely takes the crown. I haven't been on Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure yet, but I think I'd still prefer Hulk for thrilling elements because thrills are more important than theming on a roller coaster for me. And I think Hulk actually is a really great layout, intense, great inversions. Just my opinion, but I really, really like the Incredible Hulk coaster. Moving on, we have Disney parks. I have not been into these in a really long time. I haven't been on anything after like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I haven't been on that one. And then there's a lot of stuff at Hollywood Studios. I haven't been to that park, so it's kind of hard to say. I like Space Mountain at first, but on the most recent visit I had, 7 years ago, I think Expedition Everest is my favorite ride there. It has really good theming and a few nice thrilling elements. It's not a great thrilling coaster, it's kind of like a larger version of an Aero Mine Train, but of course it has some really, really good stuff with the theming. So, good park. Overall, I guess, Animal Kingdom, it's definitely my favorite of the Disney ones, and that would be my favorite roller coaster there. Moving on, a little bit outside of Orlando, we have Legoland Florida, a really underrated and fantastic family theme park. It has a GCI roller coaster called Coastersaurus, technically designed by someone else that works under GCI, and actually some really good thrilling stuff to it. Great airtime, however, I'm giving Dragon the number 1 spot. The Dragon coaster has amazing theming with really cool Lego structures and a really good large Vekoma Junior coaster type layout, though larger than most, which adds to the thrilling elements, and I just think it's a really, really fantastic kids coaster. It's not like an amazing thrilling ride, but it's certainly a fun one. And the final park in Florida is Zoomer's Amusement Park, a local place you've almost definitely never heard of. This footage of Cobra Coaster is really bad, but it's the only Cobra Coaster footage I know, and that's the only coaster in the park, so it definitely takes number 1. Let's move a little bit north to Florida's north border with Georgia. Six Flags Over Georgia is the only park in this state that I have been to, and I've not been on Twisted Cyclone. It might take number 1 if I were to go on it, but for now, Goliath is definitely my top pick. I like a lot of the roller coasters in this park, but the airtime and intensity on Goliath are some of the best on any B&M hyper in my opinion. Really, really great ride. Definitely my top there. Now let's move north to South Carolina and also North Carolina for only one theme park I've been to, Carowinds. And obviously, many will agree that Carowinds' best roller coaster is Fury 325. I have not been on Copperhead Strike, but Fury is my second favorite coaster in the world, and I definitely think it deserves the top spot in North Carolina and South Carolina and Carowinds and almost the entire world. Next up, we're moving to Virginia for King's Dominion. I have not been on Twisted Timbers. I'm pretty sure that'll be my number 1, if I am to go again, but for now, I will be giving Intimidator 305 the number 1 spot. Obviously, it's a ride with great intensity, but I tend to think that rides that are both intense and have great airtime are better than those that excel in one category. Obviously, I think Intimidator 305 is a fantastic, elite, world-class roller coaster. Another park I've been to in the state of Virginia is Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Unfortunately, I went when I was pretty young, so I've only been on Verbolten and Loch Ness Monster. I think Loch Ness Monster is the better of the two rides for thrill's sake. Once Pantheon opens, that would probably be my number 1. It looks like a really great ride with intense elements, and the backward launch thing I think is a little overdone and not great for the pacing, but still looks like a fantastic Intamin coaster. And for what they have right now, I think Apollo's Chariot would be my number 1. But as it stands, Loch Ness is the best coaster I've been on at that park. After that, we have Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey. When I went, El Toro, King Ticka, and Bizarro were all closed, so Nitro was my number 1 in the park. Obviously, it's a very good roller coaster, has some great airtime, a strong layout, it's a good B&M hyper. I really enjoy B&M hypers, and this one's certainly no exception. Definitely a very good ride. Next up, we have New York. And New York is an interesting one because I haven't been to any, real big parks there. The only one is a small boardwalk park outside of NYC called Playland in Rye. It's a really, really nice little park, and has a Zamperla Volar and a 100-year-old wooden coaster called Dragon. And Dragon is a really, really good ride. It seems these Dragon ones are going to be topping the list a little bit. It's really, really smooth given how old it is. Has a really good layout, actually, pretty intense. It's a really, really great ride. Definitely deserving of the number 1 at Playland. Next up, we have Massachusetts with Six Flags New England. This one is a pretty large collection of not great roller coasters, in my opinion, such as Goliath and Mind Eraser before it was converted. But Superman the Ride and Wicked Cyclone are 2 top 10 roller coasters, in my opinion. But which one's better? I'm saying Superman. I know Wicked Cyclone has better restraints, but Superman's a near perfect roller coaster. Fantastic intensity, really great airtime, interesting theming, excellent layout, tall, fast, good speed. It's just one of my favorite roller coasters out there. Just my opinion, but I think it's deserving of best at Six Flags New England. Next up is Canada's Wonderland, crossing over the border. Canada's Wonderland has Leviathan and Behemoth. Some prefer Behemoth, but I definitely say Leviathan. Larger, really, really massive airtime, and some really good intense moments. I think it deserves a lot more credit. Kind of underrated. It's a really good B&M Giga. I like the Gigas a lot, and this one's actually really, really good. Definitely a great roller coaster. Crossing back into the United States, we have Cedar Point, the roller coaster capital of the world. There are so many great roller coasters here. They have Maverick, Millennium Force, Top Duel Dragster, Magnum XL 200, Raptor, Gatekeeper Valraven. But my number 1 in the world is Steel Vengeance, and therefore it's the best at Cedar Point. Such a fantastic ride, great intensity and airtime, really throws you around in your seat in the best possible way. The Outer Bank curve is possibly the greatest element on any roller coaster I've ever been on, and this one time, we were at the top of the lift hill, and I saw a bald eagle, which is quite a cool sight given the western theming of Steel Vengeance. I just really enjoy this ride, and it's definitely my number. The other Ohio park I've been to is Kings Island, and in Kings Island, my favorite is Diamondback. I haven't been on Mystic Timbers, so that's definitely not going to be my number 1 because I haven't been on it. But Diamondback is just a fantastic B&M hyper. The airtime is great, the first drop is excellent, it's intense, the layout is interesting, unique, the pacing is fantastic, and the water splash at the end is really fun. I think this one deserves a lot more credit. It's a really great ride. Next up is Nick Universe at the Mall of America. Not really a whole lot of roller coasters here, but SpongeBob Rock Bottom Plunge is going to be number 1. I don't really like this one all that much. It's a bit of a bumpy Eurofighter, kind of rough. But the layout's good and the inversions are intense, so it's a good ride still. Now we're going to go way south, because I haven't been on anything in the middle of America. We have Six Flags Over Texas. And this one is definitely going to New Texas Giant. And the first RMC ever built. It's really underrated. The overbank curves actually provide some really great force and airtime. The tunnels at the end are really well utilized. The ride is really fast and intense. It zips through the elements. The other park in Texas I've been to is ZDT's amusement park, and that one has one roller coaster, and that is Switchback. A really good gravity group wooden coaster with intense elements and a really great layout. Stays low to the ground, really interesting. I definitely like that roller coaster a lot. Heading west, we have AdventureDome in Nevada. It's the only Nevada theme park I've been to with roller coasters. And the best one is going to be Canyon Blaster. I think El Loco is a pretty good ride, but Canyon Blaster is actually a really good aero looper. Probably one of the best I've been on. Not a whole lot else to say. Moving on to California, where I've been to Knott's Berry Farm. And the easy number one there is Ghost Rider, my favorite wooden coaster. Amazing airtime and intensity, one of the most adrenaline rushes of a roller coaster I've ever been on. Really great roller coaster, easily my number one. Next is Six Flags Magic Mountain. More roller coasters here than any other park, so which one's the best? I'm saying Twisted Colossus. Some like X2 more, for sure. It's a good ride, great drop, a lot of interesting elements. However, while it's a crazy experience, Twisted Colossus is a lot more fun in my opinion. You have great airtime, you have some really strong inversions and elements like that. I always got the racing element when I went on, which definitely added to the ride. I really do think Twisted Colossus is the best roller coaster at Six Flags Magic Mountain, and of what I've been on at any Six Flags park. The next roller coasters are all international. Next up is Galaxyland in Canada, specifically at the West Edmonton Mall. I did not get on Mindbender because it was closed, so for now it's going to be Galaxy Orbiter. A fun spinning coaster with a pretty good layout that goes all around the park. It's a very good ride. Definitely good, though Mindbender would easily be number one if it was open when I went. Next up, we're headed to Japan for TokyoDome. I was in Japan on a trip, and we thought because we were in Tokyo, we'd go ride Thunder Dolphin. And that is definitely the best roller coaster there. It's actually a really good ride with a great first drop, really cool location, wacky ride, crazy theming, some good airtime. And honestly, I thought it was a pretty intense ride. The second half's a bit slower, but it's a very good roller coaster. Next up, we are headed to Australia, where I've been to Luna Park, Sydney. They're going to be adding a lot of new roller coasters soon, but for now, the only roller coaster I went on there was the wooden Wild Mouse dubbed Wild Mouse. Definitely the best Wild Mouse coaster I've been on, so I'll be saying that is the best roller coaster there, by default, but it's also good. And our final ride is the best roller coaster at Tivoli Gardens in Denmark. The only European theme park I've been to. I really like Tivoli Gardens, it's a great park. The roller coasters are the weakest elements because there's no, amazing, thrilling roller coaster there. But there's a great ride called Roller Coaster, or Brushabanen in their language, with some cool mountain theming and great airtime. It's a 100-year-old wooden coaster, but it runs really smooth. However, I will be giving Daimonin, or Demon, the B&M Floorless coaster, the number one spot. It is smooth, intense, has one of the coolest first drops of a B&M Floorless coaster, and some pretty good inversions to it. The theming is also very beautiful on this ride. It's a tough call, but I think the final roller coaster to win best at a park has to be Daimonin. And that is all of the parks I've been to. It's been fun recapping some of my favorite roller coasters and all the theme parks around the world I've been to. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you'll subscribe to the channel. The amount of support I've been getting lately is truly amazing, and I hope you'll continue to do that. Thank you so much, everyone. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe for more content. I'll see you next time.